Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Z-Talk Radio.
Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Z-Talk Radio.
Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Z-Talk Radio.
You're listening to Z-Talk Radio for the next generation. And this is Between Two Worlds Radio with your host, Derrick Whiteskycloud, healer, author, shaman, psychic medium, and paranormal investigator in beautiful Vancouver, BC, Canada, welcoming all guests from paranormal to alternative health. And now, here's your host of Between Two Worlds Radio, Derrick Whiteskycloud. You're listening to the BBS Radio Network, and this is Between Two Worlds with Derrick Whiteskycloud, healer, author, shaman, paranormal investigator. Stay tuned. Up next is Between Two Worlds with Derrick Whiteskycloud.
Hello, everyone. This is Derrick Whiteskycloud, your friendly neighborhood. I'm tongue tied. I got somebody here. I'm so excited to have on. Your friendly neighborhood psychic medium and paranormal investigator, and welcome to Between Two Worlds, folks. I've got to share this with you. I'm so excited. Normally, I don't get tongue tied. This is hilarious. I've got someone here who I have admired for so many years since I was a young boy. And I'm talking about young boy since I was about 13, 14. And his name is Kenny Kingston. Now, this fellow here has been a psychic for many, many years. He's worked with very famous people in his life. I actually call him the psychic to the stars because he's actually well known that way. This man actually has worked with the very famous Mae West clairaudiently. He learned about that through the age of 7, 8 years old. And through other years, his mother and his grandmother, and other people through the years, he's got to know and well known. I've watched him do television in my area. Actually, I'm in Vancouver. I used to be up in Alberta, and I watched him since I was a kid growing up, and I admired this man for what he's done, and I want to share this with Kenny. So without any further ado, welcome, Kenny.
Thank you, sweet spirit. I thought for a minute this was my eulogy.
Oh. Okay, you're catching me off guard. No, it's not your eulogy yet. You got many years.
Oh, no, I got plenty of time. Of course I have.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's been a lot of years. I mean, you think about it, Mae West. My mom used to talk about Mae West. She used to watch her on television or in movies, theaters.
No, not television. No, not television. See, May held out to the very end for television. She wrote all her stage plays while she was in trance.
Yeah.
She wrote every play she ever did for Broadway while she was in trance, and every film she ever did while she was in trance. I'll tell you an interesting story. Adolf Zucker, who owned Paramount, called May, and she was under contract to Paramount. And he said, you know, May, he said, if you don't come in pretty soon and have a talk, I'm losing Paramount. So she said, I'll be in this afternoon. May was a New Yorker who didn't waste time. And she had her chauffeur drive her into the lot, and she met with Zucker, and he said, May, if we don't start a film in the next 2-3 weeks, he said, we just can't continue the studio. So she said, I'll go back to the Ravenswood where she lived, and she said, I will write a screenplay while in trance, and I'll have it to you in about 2 weeks. So she called in stenographers around the clock. You know, they were called stenographers in those days instead of secretaries. Yeah. So they came in, May went into trance, and she finished in about a week or so, and she brought the script into Zucker. He read it, and he said, May, this is absolutely phenomenal. He said, when can we start? She said, how about 2 weeks, get costumes and everything ready? He said, that's fine. He said, I'll walk you to your limo. And as he walked her on the lot to her limo, there standing on the lot corner was a tall gentleman with dark hair. And the name of the script, incidentally, was She'd Done Him Wrong. And she said, who's that guy down at the other end? He said, oh, May, pay no attention to him. And he said, he's a bit player, and we're getting rid of him at the end of the week. She said, no, you ain't. If he can talk, he's a leading man. So she walked down to him, and she said, what's your name, cutie? And he said, Cary Grant.
Oh.
She said, you're my leading man. And that's how Grant got started.
My name was Cary Grant.
Yeah. That's right.
I used to do impersonations of some people when I was a kid growing up.
Everybody did Cary, didn't they?
Yeah, I always admired that fellow. He was pretty cool.
Yes.
I always liked him. I mean, I'm 51 years old. I want to share with you my age. I'm 51 years old. I've known you since I've seen you on television, I would say, I was 16. I remember watching you on television one time in Edmonton, Alberta. Mm-hmm. You were on Tommy Banks' show.
Oh, sure, many times.
Yeah, and one time, I think you put a fright in some people, because I remember you saying one time, because you say you saw spirits, you saw this, you looked at Tommy, you said, my God, Tommy, you have a whole bunch of Indians around you. I've never seen so many people jump out of their seats.
I'll tell you an interesting story about Tommy Banks. One time when I flew into Edmonton, who got me that show, incidentally, who never appeared on it, but who told me I should do the show, was Flip Wilson. And so I flew in to Edmonton, right, and did the show. And afterwards, we always had a party for the cast coming in the next show. And one of the chaps coming in was Peter Allen. And I became Peter Allen Psychic, because I went down there a couple of times to Edmonton, and Peter always managed to do the show with me. And so about a year ago, I was in New York doing a show, and I was invited to see a show called The Boy from Oz. And it's a story of Peter Allen. It was starring Hugh Jackman. So I went to the theater, Imperial Theater, saw Hugh, and I saw, as true as I'm talking to you, Peter standing next to him, smiling at him, almost touching him. And when the show was over, I went backstage, and there were something like 200 or 300 girls waiting at the stage door to see Hugh. And as I told the doorman who I was, I went back, and he said, Kenny, I just heard that you felt Peter Allen on the stage with me. I said, yes. He said, honest to God, Kenny, I knew he was on stage with me. I felt him touch me. I felt him touch me. He said, please tell me what he told you. I said, well, first of all, he told me the show is great. You're going to win the Tony. And I told him a couple of things about his wife, and he said, I'm going to win the Tony. I said, that's right. I said, but you're hurrying your career too fast. don't do films too soon, but you're going to be a big, big name. And by God, he won the Tony thanks to Peter Allen working with him.
Wow. I find that so hugely influential because I remember, like I said, at the time when I saw you on television, and I said to my mom, I was watching you guys, watching you on television, I said to my mom, one of these days I'd like to be like him. I just, no, you don't think about it. You just go pass by because I wasn't even thinking about the word psychic. It was never in my head.
Sure.
I was just being a kid. And then at the time, I would say, matter of weeks when I became my 18th birthday, I got in a car accident. I rolled my truck.
Oh.
And I shouldn't have lived. And I came out of it. I survived through it. And then things started happening to me through the years.
Wonderful.
And
Absolutely wonderful.
This is basically what you call the calling. Like you say you wanted to be, you got your answer.
Absolutely. Oh, yes, yes. Don't ask. Like, for instance, the other morning I said to, my mom was the great friend of Mae West's, and the other morning I said to my mother, in spirit, she passed away at 94, and glamorous. The Gabors used to say, Kay, you're more glamorous than the Gabors. And I said to my mother the other morning in spirit, I said, Mom, if you're here, because my birthday was the 15th, and the morning of the 15th, I said, if you're here, and I know you are because you've materialized for me, but please today particularly let me know somehow that you're with me. And I went to a party that was given for me, and I came back, and I live in the Studio City Hills. Now, that's between Hollywood and Beverly Hills. And I was coming up the hill and saw all the lights of Beverly Hills, etc. But as I was looking at my left, there at 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, was a plumbing truck. And it said, 12 o'clock at night, plumbers usually aren't called out. And there was Clark Plumbing. And dear sweet spirit, my mom's maiden name was Clark. So see?
Yeah.
Oh, they'll do it. They'll make themselves known to you.
Well, I'll tell you, after my mom crossed over this last year.
Oh, God bless her.
She crossed over, and I was right by her side right to the end for her last breath.
Oh, beautiful.
Held onto her hand. I said, Mom, I'm looking forward to seeing you. And as my mom took her last breath, I closed my eyes, and I watched her actually meet my brother on the other side, and he was hugging her.
Ah.
He says, hi, Mom, and it's me, Jordan, or it's me, not Jordan, it's me, Garnet. And he hugged my mom, and my mom was like in shock. I was like, what's going on here? Like, I see these people now, I'm over here.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
And then about maybe a week later, I had a dream about my mother sitting on this bed.
Mm-hmm.
She's looking through their chest, of all the memories of all her stuff. And but I saw her actually laying on the bed. I said, Mom, why are you laying there in bed? You've already passed away.
Sure.
I said, you can get up and do something. She says, I'm not dead. I'm just resting.
That's right. That's right. She's only had a new birthday. That's when life begins.
Yeah. So, my mom gave me a heck.
Absolutely. Remember that now.
Yeah. So,
let's say hello to your mother right now.
Yeah. Hi, Mom. I'm having fun.
Hello, sweet spirit. You brought into the world a wonderful son.
I had this fellow on my show one time, and he actually has this box. I'm not sure if you've heard of the black box. It's called Frank's box. It was actually invented by Thomas Edison, and they've been experimenting with this box for many, many years since Thomas Edison. And I had this fellow on my show, and he said that there's people's voices that you actually get loved ones that are crossed over, that you ask for their names, they'll come out, their spirit comes through that box.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked if I can, just to see if it helped, and I asked to see if it was actually my mom.
Sure.
And I heard my mom's voice come out from the box, from that, because they call it telephone to the dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard her say, hi, honey. And then my mom got in an argument with somebody else in the spirit because another guy wanted to cut in. And my mom got upset, and then Chris is saying to me, I can't believe it. There's two people on the other side in the spirit. They're arguing to stay on this box.
How beautiful.
And my dad, I can hear my dad's voice, your mother's directing traffic again. I said, that's my dad.
That's right.
So, whether did you ever try electronics yourself?
No, I don't try. No, I've never tried electronics.
Okay.
No.
Because, like I said, I've actually had phones ring.
Oh, sure, that. And your light flickers and all that. Oh, yes, that, yes.
Yeah. So I'm sure we actually get many people's attention.
Sure.
Are you interested in doing any readings this evening?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I think we have a caller calling in right now.
All right.
Okay. The caller, do we have the caller there?
Hello? Hello?
Is the caller there?
Hello?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. What's your name? Where are you from?
It's Jessica.
Hi.
Hi, from
Where
Stony
you
Plain,
from?
Alberta.
Alberta. Okay. Well, do you have a question from Kenny?
I don't know, just what's my life looking like in the next 6 months?
Well, your name is Jessica.
Yes.
Jessica, sweet spirit, number one, you are in a trial period right now. You know, everything you want right now you just can't quite get.
Yes.
Okay. That will be over about April the 19th. This trial period of yours will be over on April the 19th. So you should make your plans now. And you know that in your bedroom, what is so pink in your bedroom?
I'm sorry?
Pardon me?
Sorry, ask the question again?
What is so pink in your bedroom?
Pink. There's really nothing pink in my bedroom.
Think about it. There's something pink.
Yeah,
There's
pink clothing, pink mattress.
Oh, pink. I have a house coat hanging up. That's pink.
That's pink, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a spirit in your bedroom by the name of Alice.
Okay.
Now, do you want to welcome Alice? Just say, welcome, Alice.
Okay. Welcome, Alice.
All right. Now, when you have the opportunity, you sit down with a red color candle and you ask Alice to let you know when she's there. And she will give you a knock. You'll go by knocks. And when you get into your bedroom and you feel content, you just ask her to knock, just to let you know. Then you can work up your own system that if you want to say 1 knock for yes, 2 knocks for no, and you will get some very, very interesting vibrations from her. And most important, you're going to know that she's there, because basically you belong doing something before the public. What do you want to do before the public?
Well, I work at a nursing home.
Yeah, good. Good.
So,
they need you. Do you know that?
Yes.
They need you, and it's a wonderful occupation that you have. And continue doing it, will you?
I will. I love my
Okay,
job.
and you visit my website when you have a chance. There's a wonderful book I think would help you a great deal called Making Your Goals a Reality. So visit my website, which is kennykingston.org.
Okay.
Okay? God bless you, Jessica.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Jessica.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Now, I've been reading part of your bio too, Kenny, and you actually says here that you are born to the 7th daughter of the 7th daughter.
Right. My mother was the 7th. You're right. I was born to the 7th daughter of the 7th daughter. That makes you more psychic than anything.
Pardon me. And in your family, you have Irish lore.
Who?
Yeah, this says in Irish lore, this is a very psychic sign.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Okay. Is there any Irish in your family?
Oh, we're very Irish.
Okay.
We think there's only 2 people, Irish and those who want to be.
my mother's mom.
You know what I found out too? That I did a thing for the English newspapers, for London actually. I did an aura reading. The Daily Star. They rang me up many years ago, and they wanted me to do aura readings to increase their circulation. Now, as you know, the Daily Star is a very, very big paper. And they sent me various pictures of their personalities that they wanted me to, colored photographs that they wanted me to read, their auras. And then among them that they sent was Princess Diana.
I
I'd warned the princess at that time that she must be extremely careful of bulimia. She was suffering from bulimia. Now, this was before Andrew Morton's book came out. But that she's in danger between July and November of fast-moving cars. Now, that was on the front page of the Daily Star, long before the princess passed. And when she passed, as we know, she passed because of fast-moving cars.
Yes.
Now, I'm looking right now at a crystal dish that was the last item that the princess ever touched. She was at the Ritz Hotel in Paris, and I'd gone there long after she passed, and the general manager introduced himself to me, and he said, "I want to take you into the pool area of the hotel and tell you a story that maybe you'll like." And I said, "Oh, fine." So he took me into the pool area, and he said, "This is probably the most doomed area and probably the most doomed pool area in the world." He said, "In this room, around the pool, is where Versace had his last fashion show. In the pool itself was where your ambassador to France, Pamela Harriman, had her seizure. And with this dish, which I'm going to give to you, I gave to the princess with 2 pieces of chocolate. And she and Dodie were to take a piece of the chocolate. And the one who got the sweetest piece of chocolate would choose whether they were going to go out the front door of the Ritz Hotel or the back door. Diana picked the sweetest piece. She chose, unfortunately, the back door where all the paparazzi were waiting for her."
Wow.
And that was, of course, a long time ago. Now, actually, the fact is that they can get all this. You can get even more on kennykingston.org.
Yes.
They can read the aura readings, and I think it's terribly important, don't you, that
Oh,
people
definitely.
know how to read auras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like reading people's auras as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I enjoy it because I did have one client one time come and see me, and her aura was absolutely black.
Oh, my goodness.
I looked at her and I said, "You know what? I'm sorry, I just can't read you. You'll have to go to someone else." And I was being honest about it, and
Sure.
the first thing her response to me was, "What do you think? I'm going to die?" I said, "I can't answer that. You just have to go and see someone else to get a second opinion. For some reason, I'm not supposed to read you." And I heard about maybe a month or so later that I never heard from her after. Because I told someone to give me a call, that person crossed over. I have no idea.
Well, what happened to me one time, I took my cousin, who was in the diplomatic corps, I took him to the San Francisco airport when I was living in the big house in San Francisco. Now, that's the house that, that Marilyn Monroe first. I'm sitting right now around a table and 4 chairs that in my den, and it's a wonderful night to be with you because it's starting to rain here in California. Oh, yeah. The drops are coming down in the pool now, and that's when the spirits all come out. But anyway, the important thing about auras is I took him to the airport, and we were sitting in the bar, and his back was to the clock, and he was going to Germany. He was reassigned to Germany. And I had a feeling I didn't want him to go. And I said to my friend, I said to her, he shouldn't go. And she said, well, see if the plane is going to be on time. So I got up, and I walked into the lounge where the people were waiting for the flight to Germany. And I swear to you, sweet spirit, not one person in that line sitting, waiting for the flight to be called, had an aura. And I walked up to the gentleman who was signing in the people, And I said, these people cannot take this flight. And he looked at me and he said, why? And I said, because the plane's going to crash. And he said, where have you been? And I said, in the bar. He said, good, go back there. You need it. You got too much spirit in you. I delayed my cousin. I told him it was going to be an hour late. It wasn't. The plane took off for Germany, crashed, and all aboard perished.
Ouch.
You see, you've got to go by auras, and people can learn from my book how to read these auras. And you know, being a person like myself, you know that this is terribly, terribly important.
Yeah, you got to know the energies of people, and I get spirits actually at times will get right into my body, pretty well in the same situation as you.
Sure.
I had them trying to take over me and try to not do harm, but to speak.
What do you tell them? What you tell them?
I'm going through that right now.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you don't have any problem with that. You mean negative forces are coming in?
No, not negative. These are people that just want to come through and say, I want to be heard. They want to get their voice out there.
Uh-huh.
I think we've got a caller.
All right.
We have a caller calling in?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Joanne from Langley.
Hi, Joanne from Langley.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I was just wondering if Kenny can tell me, or if you guys can tell me, who I have around me, if I have some spirits or guides around me.
Yeah. Is your mother's mother, your grandmother has passed away?
Yes. Yes.
The mother.
Yes.
Your grandmother.
Yes.
Okay. She passed very quickly. There was a problem with her stomach. And she passed, and she's around you. Now, also who's around you, in addition to your grandmother, is a woman by the name of Anne. Who is Anne?
I don't know.
Think. Anne.
Anne. Nothing's coming.
Oh, psychic amnesia.
All right. Now, here's what you do. When you were in the 2nd, 3rd grade, you had a substitute teacher that had very thick glasses. Do you recall her?
No, that was a long time ago.
Well, that's okay. I mean, that's all right. You still should remember a substitute teacher. She liked you very much. She liked you very, very, very much. And she was very kind to you. Because in the 2nd grade, you were not too smart. Understand? That's what she's telling me. But this woman also is around you. Think now, my dear sweet spirit. She's around you, and she will visit you, and when she visits you is as you lay down keys, she will move these keys. As a matter of fact, just a minute here, as a matter of fact, you were looking for some keys the other day. You were positive you put them on a table, and when you looked for the keys, they were on another table. Do you remember?
No, I just keep losing them in my purse.
Pardon me?
No, so much a table.
Yeah, the child is suffering from amnesia. You're right. We're absolutely right. Well, anyway, these keys, you put all your keys in the purse?
Mm-hmm.
You've never laid keys on a table?
Oh, no, I do when I come home. You're right, I do leave them.
But I didn't say the keys now that you had in the door. I didn't say there were door keys. I just said there were keys that you that moved by a spirit.
Okay.
Okay? And what is your question?
I don't know. I was just wondering who's around me. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, you got it then. There's this woman and your grandmother.
Okay.
And I still want to go back to the fact I want to get a lady around you in spirit who is Margaret.
Well, she's lucky she's got more people around her than most people.
Who's Margaret?
I don't know.
God, you must be lonely.
I don't know a lot of people that have passed.
Pardon me?
I don't know a lot of people that have passed over, so.
Well, Margaret Margaret went into the nunnery. She became a nun. Did you ever meet a nun?
Never.
Well, we're going to have to get somebody to take you out socially. God bless you, child. Stay in, you'll be safe. I warn you now, don't go out. And
now,
keep those keys in the purse, will you?
I will.
Thank you.
Okay.
Are you married?
No, actually, that was my other question, but I didn't know if I could answer you another question.
Oh,
I
sure.
was married, but I'm looking for another relationship. I'm wondering.
I'll bet you are. I'll bet you.
I go outside more often.
Okay, you've got to marry somebody. I'm being very, very serious now. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not being insulting, and I'm being very, very serious. You've got to become involved with somebody romantically that will broaden your scope. Because I'm afraid if somebody proposed to you, you have a habit of saying no to everything. And I think you'd say no to him and be sorry. The man you're going to marry is going to have blonde hair.
Oh, okay.
Is that all right with you?
That sounds good to me.
Okay. And when you find him, you write to our wonderful host.
I will.
Tell her where to write to you.
Yeah.
To his website.
Basically, you can contact kennykingston.org. You can write to him.
No. Don't thank you. Don't put that on me. God, honey, we're just having a little fun with you. You're going to find the man. I'm serious.
Okay.
He's going to have blonde hair. But you know, when you do this kind of work, you have to have a sense of humor. That's the reason with psychics today, they're not on television anymore, because they have no sense of humor.
Yeah, most of us are radio.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
We're still trying to get ourselves out there on television
than blonde hair? How else will I know him other than the blonde hair?
Pardon me?
How else will I know him other than the blonde hair?
He has blonde hair?
Yeah, how else will I know him?
How else will you know him?
Yes.
There's a feeling. Your heart palpitates.
That's what I'm looking for, yeah.
Yeah. You'll recognize it when you see it.
Oh, sure, you'll recognize him.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Okay.
My
you
pleasure.
take care.
Have a nice night.
Bye-bye. Sometimes, I know, Kenny, when some people give them a message, they may think that they don't know who the person is.
Oh, absolutely.
Until they get home or until they start thinking about it, oh, I remember now all of a sudden all these years.
You know, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm being very, very serious. I used to be very, very reasonable, extremely reasonable in my prices. And those people that are reasonable in your prices can say no too fast. Right now I charge $500 an hour. And there's a special that I have during the month of February because of my birthday and because of Lover's Time. So if they go on to that website, they will find that the prices just for February, but they must go on right away because it's over at the end of February, is only $300 for an hour telephone reading.
Oh, I'll take advantage of that.
Yeah, an hour telephone reading for $300. And these people, though, you'll find out that they do not say no so quickly. They think twice.
Yeah, definitely.
You can give a lot of things away, and they don't appreciate it, really.
Yeah. Well, you think about it. I mean, I'm actually in my practice and training in the Spiritualist Church.
Sure.
And in our Spiritualist Church, we have people that come in, and we'd have our what's called Crystal Light Fair, where people are doing readings for clients coming in, and they don't charge that much. They charge between $20 to $30 for half an hour.
Sure.
And yet you can give them a message, and next thing you know, they're back the next month.
Yes.
And not willing to listen to what you're trying to tell them. But if you charge them a higher fee, I'm willing to listen.
Yes.
But sometimes it takes a hard-earned dollar to make them listen to you.
Unfortunately, that's the way with the entire world, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like people, it's just like Happy Birthday. My birthday, as I said, was the 15th of February.
So you're the day after Valentine's Day.
Pardon me?
You're a day after Valentine's Day.
Right. And
so you got presents. Both you gave your present to your mother, and she gave it back to you.
Right. Thank God. That's right. And one time, many years ago during the war, not the first war, the second, in case you're wondering, during the Second World War, I was sitting in Paris. I was sitting in Paris in the Officers Club with General Eisenhower, and he wanted a slight reading about a few things that he had in mind. And Mamie, his wife, was a true believer in the spirit world, and he asked a couple of questions, and we were right in the middle of this reading, and he looked at me and he said, "Mr. Spirit Man, excuse me." He said, "But you hear what's going on over there at the table over there?" We were way in the corner talking, and he said, "That officer that they're singing Happy Birthday to is only 30 years old." He said, "And nobody should sing Happy Birthday." And I said, "Why, sir?" He said, "Because it should be Happy Anniversary." He said, "You're only given one birthday in your lifetime, and that's when you're born. All the others are anniversaries." Now, well, isn't that true?
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah. You go in, you go out.
That's right. That's right. And, you know, it takes a long time for people to prove things. Like I was reading President Truman at the hotel in San Francisco where he was staying when he was running for re-election, and the owner of the hotel asked me to give him a reading because he was interested in the spirit world. And as I was giving him the reading, he said to me, he said, "Kenny, I want to be buried, when I pass away, I want to be buried wherever my library is, so I could get up and walk in to my office at any time." Well, I've told this story for years on the Merv Griffin show and all the talk shows I did for years, and they would get a giggle and they would start to say, "Oh, come on, the president wants to really believe that strongly." And it took Margaret Truman, who just passed away, God bless Margaret, but she just passed away, but she wrote a book called Best Truman about her mother. And in that book, she says her dad wanted to be buried on the library grounds so he could get up and walk in anytime he wanted to. So it took maybe 4, 15, 20 years to prove a point.
Yeah.
But who cares? We don't care. We believe, don't we?
Yes, we do.
All things are possible if we only believe.
We have another caller there.
Okay.
Caller, are you calling in?
Hello, hi.
Hello, who am I talking to?
Veronica?
Veronica?
Yes.
How are you doing? Where are you from?
I'm from Pasadena, California.
Pasadena, California. Well, this is Kenny
God
Kingston.
bless you. You're practically a neighbor of mine.
Where are you located?
Pardon me?
Where are you located?
In Studio City.
Oh, okay.
Sure. Pasadena. Love Pasadena. Do you go to the Playhouse very often?
Not very often. I should go.
You should go. You should go to the Playhouse. All right. Now, what's your question, Veronica?
Well, basically, I had a rough last year. I wanted to know if this year's going to be better for me. As far as...
Okay, let me tell you something. If you go back, Veronica, and you analyze the last year, it was in divine order. Everything that happened last year, it had to happen to get it out of your system. Would you understand?
Yeah.
Many things you created on your own. Can you accept that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's over. So last year it was a proud period, if you want to look at it that way. But most important, it was something that had to happen in divine order. And please be very grateful that it happened last year.
Okay.
Okay? Also, you're going to find out that anything that you do right now, will come to reality, but it's going to take like 2 or 3 years. And you should have a pad and pencil with you at all times because you have very, very interesting dreams.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so please, you could make a book. You could do a book if you would bother. As a matter of fact, you woke up the other morning at 3:25,
Mm-hmm.
and a pillow was on the floor.
Okay.
Do you recall that?
No.
Go back now. Go back.
Okay.
Go back a couple of nights. 3:23, not 3:25. 3:23.
Okay, because I can't really see the clock at night. So.
Well, okay. Take my word for it, please.
Okay.
And a pillow was on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a spirit just letting you know that they were there protecting you.
Okay.
And you're going to have a wonderful 5 years. 5 years, a wonderful 5 years. You're going to have 2 children.
I already have one, so one more?
Right.
Okay.
But you had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have one daughter, so would I have another one?
That was a miscarriage too, right?
No, I have one daughter.
Yeah, but there was a miscarriage.
Yeah, there is.
So there should have been 2, but there will be another one.
Okay.
And it's going to be a boy.
Okay.
Boy. And that will come in 2.5 years.
Okay.
Okay?
So relationship-wise in the future is going to be good.
I'm sorry. You're going to have to
Can you speak a little louder?
Oh, I'm sorry. In the future, then my relationship will be a good one, right? I'll find a good relationship.
You're going to find a fantastic relationship.
Okay, good.
And the man is going to have his own business.
Okay.
And you're going to help him in that business.
Oh, good. I was kind of thinking
you're practically a teacher.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
God love you, Veronica.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
You take care.
You too.
Bye-bye. I read your book from front to back.
Which one?
Your I Still Talk To.
Yes.
I've been wanting to get this book for such a long time, and I thought, okay, when I finally sat down and I thought, I got to write to you guys, and we had miscommunications for over a year trying to get you on my show, and we finally got this happening. And when I got the book and I read it from end to end, and I'm telling you, I'm actually totally floored on some of these events that have actually taken place that you know, even after people crossed over, but you knew some that actually were living, actors, actresses, politicians, and even people that are after crossed over. And you've done a lot of major research and did a lot of traveling to find out how these events really did take place or how the person crossed over. There's a couple that actually got my attention. One was Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah. Well, that's
and everybody kept on saying criticism about her, saying that, you know, they've always had trouble with her, so to speak, and they couldn't figure why she was never around. And when you basically said she had agoraphobia, I mean, that's a very common thing, and a lot of actors and actresses, a lot of them are getting agoraphobia just as much now as they did then.
I tell you, I just got a, yes, it also happened to Garbo. Garbo was a client of mine, and she suffered from it too. But I'm going to tell you something. You got a scoop here, because this is the first time I've ever mentioned this anyplace on the air, and I just heard about it the other day. A radio host from Sacramento, California, I was on her show, and she sent me a book that she wrote with June DiMaggio. That is Joe DiMaggio's niece.
Yes.
And it's the first DiMaggio that ever wrote anything about the DiMaggio family. And, of course, she was very close to Marilyn. Now, for years and years and years, I've been talking on the shows, various shows, that Marilyn told me 3 days before she passed that on that Monday, that August 4th or 5th Monday, August 5th, whatever it was, or 6th maybe, that she was going to have a very large press conference. And she invited me to the press conference. And I told her I couldn't come that day, but I would certainly read everything about it. And she said, Kenny, I'm not going to say anything. They think I'm going to talk about a relationship I had with Bobby Kennedy. I didn't have a relationship with Bobby Kennedy. She said, but what I'm going to talk about is that Joe and I are going to be remarried this coming Thursday, August the 8th. And, of course, she passed away on the 4th, 5th, right?
Yeah.
So nobody ever could believe that that's what she was going to say at a press conference. And DiMaggio never spoke about it. But June DiMaggio just came out with this book called Marilyn, Joe, and Me. And she said that that's what was going to happen on that Monday, that she was going to announce that Thursday was going to be her wedding day. But unfortunately, Joe had his dinner clothes all ready for the wedding, and he had the flowers ordered, what have you. But those flowers, unfortunately, were used for Marilyn's funeral. But it took all these years, to prove the point that Marilyn had told me. And the book just came out. No, I guess
I'll tell you this right now. What you actually basically wrote in the book, and I actually believe this as well, because my mother even said to me when she heard that Marilyn crossed over, and she didn't. My mother did not believe that Marilyn actually committed suicide.
Oh no!
My mother was quite psychic.
Of course.
And she says, no, this is something that doesn't make any sense. She says, but they're trying to cover up something. She says, but I think this is more of an accidental thing.
Of course it was.
And when you wrote in there that she came through to you and told it was an accidental passing, well, then that makes sense.
Of course.
You could take. There are actors that have taken drugs before. I'll give you. River Phoenix came to see me in spirit.
Who?
I wasn't trying to find him. He found me.
Who's that?
And he's basically the one that came to me and told me that I had to start do my work more often as a profession.
Yes.
And he got my attention. I wrote a book too. I want to send you my book.
Please do.
And how it happened to me.
Please do.
But he kept snoring. I was actually sleeping. I was sound asleep with my wife, and I can hear loud snoring. And literally, I was out of my body. And I came down the stairs and walked in this room, and here he is, prolonged or elongated on top of this table with a white sheet on top of him. I didn't know it was him first. And I can hear this loud snoring, obnoxious snoring, the typical, that really loud noise. So I pulled the sheet back, and he was lying there, and he had his eyes closed, and he goes, "Hi." I went, "River Phoenix, what are you doing here?" And he says, "I'm here for you to give you some messages."
Wonderful.
And at first my response was, "Well, I'm sorry you died."
Well, he didn't die. He only had a new birthday.
No, I know, but I automatically reacted as a human being, saying, "I'm sorry you died."
Yes.
I understand. Feel like an idiot.
Sure.
That's not the answer I wanted to give him. I wanted to find out, well, what are you doing here? But my answer was, "I'm sorry you died."
Uh-huh.
So, anyways, he gave me my message, is basically what I was supposed to be doing, this work as a full-time career.
I'm so glad you're doing it.
And I said, okay, I'm going to do that. And then this other fellow, an older fellow around your age, your age, came to me in my life and inspired me and told me that I could be trained under him for 6 months. And one time, he actually works for the police, and he, as a psychic police, he's not a police officer, but he works for the police as a psychic worker. And he's been with them since he was quite young. And he said he was supposed to find me, train me for 6 months, then move on.
Well, you got your answer.
So he trained me on site 6 months, doing cases, and then he moved on, and that was it. And I also put him in part of my book as well. So the thing is that there's so many people out there that inspire us, like yourself, gives us that step into the door.
Yeah, but you see, you've got an interesting quality about you. You laugh, you have a sense of humor, but unfortunately, I'm not saying the psychics today on television, they could be good, but they're just so matter of fact, and so I'm very serious. But you must have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
I tell you the funny part. You don't know this, but if you've ever seen me on Merv Griffin, and I did.
Yes, I did.
I did 77 appearances on Merv Griffin, and I know the reason why, and I'll tell you the reason why. Is because the first time Merv took me very, very, very seriously, and he still did every show. He took me very seriously, but he found out I had a sense of humor, and he introduced me for 76 times as the world's most famous physic.
Physic?
Yeah, and he got a big laugh. That pleased Merv, and I kept going back and forth on the show year after year after year. So you have to have a sense of humor. If he thought physic was funny, that's okay.
Yeah, yeah, fun with it.
I mean, we've been called, in the Stone Ages, we were called a lot worse than physics.
Did you ever channel Merv Griffin?
Pardon me?
Did you ever talk to him after he crossed over?
I have never talked to him, no. No, but some very terrible things have been written about him. And
yeah, I've been hearing those. I don't pay any attention to that.
No, of course not.
They make up stuff after they're gone. They always do it all the time.
Absolutely, no question.
Something I don't agree with. Well, I think we have another caller calling in.
Pardon me?
I think we have another caller calling in.
Okay.
Is there someone there?
Yes,
hello?
I am, Derek.
Hi,
how are you doing?
Hey,
Derek, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Where are you from?
Hi, it's Barb.
Hi, Barb. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing good, and I just wanted to tell you and Kenny you're doing really good, and we're either psychic, physic, or psychotic. I'm not sure which it is.
What did she say?
This is Reverend Barbara Leonard. She's been a medium for over 50 years. And she's also one of my mentors. I'm under training as a minister with her through our spiritual church. I didn't know she was going to be coming on. It's fabulous.
Well, you better invite me to your church.
We're going to.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, tell me to come up in our church anytime.
Well, you better invite me to your church because I love British Columbia.
Well,
you
get
just
down
come
here.
on up.
Love British Columbia. I tell you, I was there I was there to do a show at the Cave.
Mm-hmm.
And we were taping the show at the Cave with Van Johnson, and unfortunately, they permitted the audience to buy drinks during the taping, and we had to tape the show like 8, 9, 10 times because somebody kept turning on the air conditioning. Well, I'm telling you something, Barbara. By the time we got the final taping, there were more spirits in that audience from all the booze that they took. You just couldn't possibly believe it. The whole house was smashed. Unbelievable.
I don't know, but we just have to have a sense of humor.
Oh, yes.
For sure.
Of course.
Like mixing some spirit with
like
spirit.
I said to Derek, we're either psychics or we're physics or we're psychotics.
Or psychotics.
Barbara, I want to tell you something, if I may. And that is that you're going to have to get a larger church pretty soon because you're going to start building and building and building your group.
Good.
Yes, so you plan in about 2 years, a year and a half or so, that you're going to just start building and building and building because more people are turning to you and to Derek. Derek, right?
Yes.
Yeah, more you and Derek than at any other time in history.
Oh, wonderful.
So you
there
remember.
You go. We're going to be busy, Barb.
Well, we're
That's
looking
right.
forward to that.
That's right, and I'll be down there for you.
Yeah,
we're going to get you down there for sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Barbara, God love you.
Anytime you're up here, let us know.
Okay. Any question you want to ask, Barb, besides that?
Pardon me?
Any more questions you want to ask besides that?
Oh, I just was wondering how the church is going to do, but he's psychic, so he found out.
Yeah, he psychically found out.
But you better start letting people know where your church is and exactly what happens there, and you've got to pick your ministers very, very carefully. And I know that's what you're doing, Barbara, because I feel a very dedicated, sincere human being.
Well, we want to get it out there.
God bless you. You will.
God bless you, too.
God,
and
thank
we'll
you.
Talk to you again soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
You take care, Barb.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Now, we didn't get to all the people, but actually, I want to say, I mean, there is actually someone else who I wanted to mention about, too, that I don't want to close in about Hitler, but I actually read that part you read about Hitler. When I was reading the story which you had written, the energy in my body, I felt like really, I felt so swelled up, I felt so uneasy in that story. Not because it wasn't frightening, just that it really got how you became so, well, because anybody who's psychic or medium understand the energies. It got my attention.
Absolutely.
That particular story, because my mom read that article in a paper saying that Hitler's supposed to have been killed in the bunker with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
My mother also said, no, he's not dead. He's still living.
Absolutely, absolutely. He was too brilliant, he was too brilliant. He used his brilliance wrong, of course, but he was a brilliant man, and Eva Braun, the whole group, like Rita Perron lived longer. But anyway, every restaurant I went into in whatever city I went to, people would come up to the table saying, Kenny, I can't believe this story. It's so wonderful about Hitler.
Yeah.
It touched me like it did you. It touched me.
Yeah. But I don't want to end it that way. I actually want to end it in a different way, which is actually one of my other favorite people that has crossed over, and that was James Dean.
Who?
James Dean.
I didn't get the name.
James Dean.
Oh, James Dean. Yes, of course.
Yeah, that got my attention. Like all through the years, everybody kept saying, yes, he was killed in a car accident, but how, was it speed, was it this, was this? And then you guys went on site. You guys went out there and you went around everywhere to find out how and what was the cause, or how he died, or how he's feeling over this.
Exactly. Exactly. You come to California and we'll all take the trip again.
Oh, I'd love to.
We'll take the trip again.
I'd love to.
Okay.
My head is feeling full right now, Kenny.
All right. Have your wonderful people tune in to kennykingston.org.
I will.
What's that? I didn't hear.
Anybody wants to get reading?
Oh, yeah, there's a healing basket there. Also, there's a healing basket on kennykingston.org where there's no charge whatsoever. They can just send in their name, and we do regular healing.
And you do regular seances?
Oh, yeah, regular seances, but regular healing in that basket, okay?
Sounds good. We will do that.
Thank you, and it's wonderful talking to you.
It's been great to have you on, Kenny.
Sorry, I've got to cut this, but I've got a 9 o'clock telephone reading, or I would stay with you longer.
Okay, take care. Thank you for coming on.
My pleasure. Let's do it again.
I will. I'll get you back.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Well, folks, it's been a great show. We're going to have Kenny back here again another time, over and over again. This is actually great. We're going to have the physic back. Anyways, this is Derrick Whiteskycloud, and you're listening to Between Two Worlds on bbsradio.com. Your friendly neighborhood psychic medium, paranormal investigator. Guys, next week we're going to have Klaus Heinemann, who actually talks about orbs. We're going to have him on my show next week. So look forward to actually hearing you guys come back in again and ask more questions regarding orbs. Actually, these are spirits, I think. Anyways, next week, take care, guys. Bye. Be safe.